Welcome once again to Squares of the Round Table. I'm Ivan Rivera, and today, with my friends Mike Boyle and Jeff Stein, we are here to give you entertainment unlike the trend. What do you say, guys? How we all doing?
Excellent.
All right, not too bad.
Festive.
Okay, and festive in what design?
Had the great Thanksgiving weekend. Oh, man, had a great time. But let's start. Hey, Ivan, did you have a good Thanksgiving?
I had a great Thanksgiving.
All right. Would you care to elaborate?
I shall.
Oh, well, please proceed, my friend.
All right.
What the hell?
Julie and I and Soraya went together to the great cornfields that they call Indiana and went out to Julie's sisters, Rita and Ron, to have Thanksgiving dinner. Was marvelous. We had turkey and ham, all manner of pie, all kinds of stuffing and corn casserole, and there was just so many good things to eat. And well, after getting my fill and then some, going down into the den in the bottom part of the house where they live, and stretched out on a recliner and proceeded to get myself a well-deserved nap because I drove all the way there. And everyone was having a wonderful time. I got to play with my daughter Jessica's two pit bull puppies. They were really, really very cool, very well-mannered dogs, lovely dogs. And just spent some time with Julie's family. And then on Friday, Julie, Soraya, and I, we went over to my mom and dad's place for a little bit more settled dinner plan with Spanish and American style type Thanksgiving trappings. So it was really, really good. And then Saturday and Sunday was kind of laid back. We didn't do very much up until pretty much Sunday afternoon, and then we were getting the storms coming in, so I asked Julie, to get back to Indiana sooner than later. So she left Sunday afternoon, and I've been living the life of a bachelor since then. So just me and the cat, just kind of watching the soul come down. I'm playing records and goofing off on Facebook and Instagram and doing whatever. In fact, before I came on the podcast, I just got done putting an hour's worth of music out there, for a snowy Monday evening, and announcing my whereabouts, where I'm going to be in town. I'm going to be getting around quite a bit this week, but we won't. Those announcements won't be made available for this particular broadcast, because by the time the broadcast comes, it'll be a little bit too late for that. But that's all right. I'll be at Cafe Mustache on Thursday, and I'll be at Logan Arcade on Sunday. All right, so there's my little nutshell. How was your weekend?
To whom are you referring?
Yeah, I love when you do that.
How was your weekend? There are two of us, and you do no visual aids.
Should I flip a coin? Let me see. Call it heads or tails. Who's got tails?
Huh? Tails.
Huh? Okay. And there we go. And
that's not fair. Tails always wins.
Okay, heads. Okay, Jeff, take it away.
Ha! How you like that? I choose to receive.
Yeah, Jeff did win the football pool from last week, though.
Congratulations,
Jeff, on winning the football pool.
The wallet is in celebration right now.
Okay. And unfortunately, that wallet didn't get any deeper. I will say, we almost looked really, really bad. All three of us were like, "Oh, the Bears are going to win. Oh, we're going to start the backup." Oh God! Oh boy!
I picked the Lions, and Ivan picked the Falcons over the Saints, and I picked the Lions over the Bears.
You did? I thought we all took the Bears.
Nope, I took the Lions.
Did you really? Wow.
So, Jeff is the singular winner of last week's Thanksgiving football picks.
This is why we don't do football picks on a regular basis around here anymore.
All right.
And you hear This is why we don't do this. Although I will, as Ivan knows, when I used to do the sports show, I always used to laugh. My sports picks were good as long as I did them on the show. Don't ever ask me in person for my picks, because they're never as good as when I do them subconsciously on the show. True story, my dad would be like, your picks were horrible. Did you listen to the show? No. Well, that's why they sucked.
Right. You were connected with that, Jeff, with that show. It seemed to give you that little extra something.
Yeah, it was just kind of like, okay, at that moment it was like, all of a sudden it was like channeling something. Otherwise it was like, everybody's like, you're really bad at this. I'm like, not when I'm on the show. That's crazy.
You were in your element, man.
Yeah, well, I was also smart. Sometimes I sat there and I would look at games and be like, because this was the late '90s. Drew Brees was with Purdue, and I'm looking at the lines, and I'm like, oh, there's no way that Purdue's not going to crush that. That was when Northwestern was better than they are now, and it was like, okay, they're still not respecting Northwestern. I'll take that line. I'll take this line. It was just, you pick the right games, you can do just fine if you know what you're doing.
Right.
But, let's see, Holiday, trying to think, started really kind of Tuesday night. Saw Star is Born.
How was that?
It was really, really
good. Leave that for later.
No, well, I guess, do we want to leave it for later, or I can talk about it a little bit real fast now.
Okay.
All
right.
In fairness, I've never seen the previous two remakes, or the original or the remake. This particular version was pretty much produced and directed, I believe, by Bradley Cooper, who plays the main role. And I gotta tell you, he's incredible. He is really, really good in this role. Every time I think I've just seen him do something spectacular, he continues to amaze me. The chemistry between him and Gaga in this role is very, very good. It kind of reminds me of kind of like that relationship between two people where it's kind of like a rock god and his muse kind of thing in some ways. There's just that chemistry level. And Gaga's very good in it too, but there's something about Cooper's portrayal of this old school rock / country cowboy that is just riveting. And I really enjoyed it. There's one twist of plot that I wish they kind of done a little bit differently near the end, but really in reality, highly recommended. And if Bradley Cooper does not get an Oscar nomination for Best Actor, then it's a crime. It really is.
Well, considering the way things are done down at the Oscar, it's always there. For some reason, the Oscar, just like the Grammy, they just seem slightly out of touch with certain things. So it's like, if it doesn't get a nod, then because The Star is Born, in its initial version with Judy Garland, and then the second one with Chris Christopherson and Barbra Streisand, which was a phenomenal version of that particular story. It'll be interesting for me to see just how it all kind of ties together, because I have seen both the other Star is Born movies, so it'll be interesting to see how they line up, or how many of the original elements they kept together for the actual motion picture.
Which do you prefer, the Judy Garland or the Streisand one?
Well, if I have to put my money on it, I would have to say the one with Barbra Streisand and Chris Christopherson.
Really?
Okay. All right.
Well, yeah, because I think this movie that you just saw, I think went with that formula, because remember, Chris Christopherson was one of the original Outlaws. He was a country music, rock kind of guy and everything. So, and then of course, Barbra Streisand, coming from her background, up to that time, she was still a charting artist. So you could say that Lady Gaga was working within the equivalent of what Barbara Streisand did, in that category. They had the same type of fame. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. So what would be your favorite then, Mike?
I've never seen any version.
Oh.
Yeah, like I said, I it was something where, especially considering the fact that it $5 Tuesday, God bless $5 Tuesday. But, that made it even more worth it. But yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. So that was Tuesday night. Thursday was family. As usual, the one friend of the family who shows up who always seems to want to continue to talk about political topics, even though you've got your family members like your mom who's like, whatever you do, don't talk about that. And like this person keeps goading you and you're like, oh God, I don't want to talk about that at all. But this person doesn't want to stop. And they don't understand the concept of stop.
Okay,
so
he wasn't purposefully goading you. He thought he was just engaging in conversation.
Oh yeah, that's exactly how it kind of went too. It was like, what's the problem? Why can't we talk? And I'm like, I don't know. I've been kicked in the shin about 15 times. You tell me. You tell me why we can't talk. I'll tell you that my answer is that my shin hurts. But, yeah, I mean, Thanksgiving was fun. Obviously, Bears win. That was a good thing.
Yes.
And over the weekend, I got a chance to go to the WolfCon Game Fair. So I got a chance to play a lot of role-playing games. So I played a lot of Star Wars over the weekend, and that was cool.
Did you DM?
I did. I actually did GM one game on Saturday night, and I sent them to kind of like a place called, well, I based it on Hollywood. I called it the Hollywood sector, and it's kind of a crazy place. So the players had a good time with it, and yeah, I thought it really was a blast. So I did that kind of Friday and Saturday. Sunday was just kind of just hanging out at home, and that was kind of my thing. So.
Yeah, we did the lazy day on Saturday too over here.
Yeah, Saturday we're not so lazy. Sunday more lazy especially because I was looking at it and I'm like, oh look, the snow is going to fly like from fluffing levels of something or other. I don't know. Mike, how about you? How was anything unique, different, fun for your holiday?
Had a fun Thanksgiving, great holiday. It was fun seeing I watched some of the parades, and I think the NBC show kind of focused too much on the musical numbers because they knew that the winds were going to be strong and it was going to be super cold in New York City, so they didn't focus on showing many of the balloons. I know some of them were grounded. Of course, all the fun news that there was a parade in Detroit that did feature an Optimus Prime balloon, and I'm like, yes! Because, like, you look at all the floats of all the intellectual properties over the years. It's like, this one got a balloon? Oh, come on. No one saw that movie. But finally, yeah, it was a cool-looking G1 looking Optimus Prime. It was cool. Then Thursday, had the bird. I ate way too much, of course. Watched the football. And then Thursday night, when everyone left, I got to relax and chill and turned on some animated, some Pixar movies. I think Ratatouille was on one of the channels, so I watched that Thursday night. I love that movie, man. That was so cool.
It's a great movie.
Yeah. Friday was Black Friday, the blackest of Fridays, and it wasn't too bad. Our store did pretty well. And then Friday after work, and that was my plan the whole day. It's like after work, I was going to go to this big music store in Crystal Lake and get my guitar strings, and maybe since I'm in Crystal Lake, I'll go see a movie. I didn't see a movie. I was like, screw this. I'm just going to stay local. So I shopped local here in town. Went to a small little quaint little music store, and I got my strings. I didn't buy the cheapo ones that I usually get because I go, okay, it looks fun, check them out. So just spent some money around town here in McHenry and on Friday. And then Saturday worked all day, but then as the day went on, more and more news about all the snow we're getting. And by Saturday, it was 4 to 8 inches we were going to get. And then by like late night, they said, nope, it's a foot. I'm like, oh, crap. So Saturday after work, after dinner, went out in the garage, put all the Christmas decorations that I was going to put on the house, lined them up, put them in the garage, lit them up, tested them. All worked good. First thing Sunday morning, popped the garage door open, put all the stuff out, wired it, staked it down, lit it up. Great. All done just in time before the snow hit. And like it was kind of like someone flipped a switch. Like this stuff was coming down like in like snowflakes like the size of the palm of my hand.
Wow.
Yeah, those were big flakes. And we up here, up by us, I don't know how you were up by the lake, or I know Ivan didn't get as much downtown. We got about 10 inches here in McHenry. And it was a wet snow. It was heavy, wet snow. So it was big, heavy slush. And now it's all freezing, turning into big, icy, annoying chunks. But, yeah, we had some snow. So then so it was quiet. So I got my work done Sunday. So by noontime, I was eating cookies, watching the snow come down. So I had a great afternoon. And then my buddy came over. I was like, I don't know, the weather's bad. He's like, it's just snow. So my friend came over. We were short one guy for game night as usual, but we did have a fun time. We tried this epic PvP game for game night. It was all right.
What'd you play?
It was Epic PvP is the name of the game.
What is it? How's it playing?
It's
What's the premise?
One-on-one deck, kind of not a deck building game, but it's like a combat game where you use your deck and you don't draw from your deck. Your deck, I don't know. I don't want to get into the game mechanics right here now, but it was interesting. It was a new game, but as you select you can choose your class, like your race, and then you can choose your profession. I was a demon illusionist or pixie barbarian or something like that. That's how it gives that's how it helps retain the replay value, where you can choose a different race and class to go with the combat. But it was all right. It was fun.
It sounds like fun.
Yeah, and then like I said, Saturday it was supposed to be shop, or was it store? Was it small business Saturday? But I did that Friday because so that in Friday morning got to hear about the fights. I guess there was just one shooting in Alabama, and then like a couple of fights over TVs and Walmarts. But that was it. So it wasn't much as far as just the exciting. Seeing the crazy people right after they have their Thanksgiving dinner and give thanks for all they have, they run out and they beat the crap out of each other out of stuff they don't need. So
it's
sad. But some people live for that. They live for that thrill of the hunt. I'm like, nope, that ain't me.
No.
Years ago, was it? Maybe about 15, 20 years ago, maybe I'd be doing that, but no more. Crazy people out there.
I think we're three people who probably were the last people on the planet to want to consider any of that, and so. But I will say, even though I had nothing to do with any of that, getting around in this area with enough shopping mall areas, oh my God, traffic was brutal Friday, and of course, the only day that's been nice or close to nice in the last couple weeks is, of course, Black Friday. Oh look, it's like almost 50 degrees. And
so everyone's out.
Yeah, everyone's out. Everybody's like, oh, perfect. It's great weather. You guys suck. Yeah, I'm just not I don't know. There's nothing I find interesting anymore about standing in a long line so that I can get a TV for $200. What do they do with all these TVs after a while? How many TVs do you need?
Well, that and the thing was when I was, when I lived a previous life, and how getting up at at 5 a.m. with a thermos filled with hot chocolate, waiting for the doors to open over at Best Buy or over at whatever store was doing the early bird specials, and then just the awful situation before they had the lottery where they handed out numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And, everybody going there without a number. I mean, it became a storming type of thing. Like we were like going after the castle type of stuff, running after when the gate opens.
Right.
It's like, okay, when did my Walkman become such a battle, really? So afterwards, it was like, fuck this. I'm not going to get involved in this.
The worst part is, in some ways, the geek culture is somewhat responsible for this too. Because I've been to when I've been to Gen Con, okay? And they open the doors. Well, what am I talking about?
Yeah.
Mike, you saw it. You saw what happens when they open the hall to the
Yeah, we've seen videos. We've
That-
seen
the video,
what happens.
That's just, it's
like the party of the Red Sea, man.
Party of the Red Sea. It's like the bulls in Pamplona.
Yeah.
Except there's a lot more bulls than there should be. It's insane. And so I kind of laugh when there's people who are like, oh, I don't do that. Except at Gen Con, when I see you in the front going, I got to get my new shiny new dice or whatever the hell they want. Or the people who show up like a day beforehand to see a movie. We kind of live in that society now. It's kind of scary.
Well, yeah, it has gotten crazed over the last 20 or so years.
Did anybody take advantage of any Cyber Monday deals or any kind of internet deals for shopping over the weekend?
No, I didn't.
I didn't.
I really didn't. And maybe I've really gotten to the point, I almost hate to say it, that it's like, and maybe this is the guy in me, okay? It is a lot easier to just be like, here's a gift card.
I have family members who get mad because it's a gift exchange. It's not a gift card exchange. I was like,
but sometimes you got to take the guesswork out of the equation because half the time you're trying to find that perfect thing for somebody, and then you've done this for a number of years, and you're like, okay, I'm still buying for the same person. How much of what they don't have don't I know about?
A few years ago, we stopped buying presents for everybody because it got crazy and expensive for everyone. So about 3 years ago, we do a grab bag. Okay, so we pick a name, we cut out some pieces of paper, we draw out of a hat or a bowl or whatever, and then we say, okay, I got this person, or you got this person. Oh, what am I going to get this person? Well, you ask them what they want. Well, then they're going to know I got them in the pick.
Right.
Well, it's like, what's the even point? Just ask them.
That's why I never understood the grab bag part, because it was like, okay, you can't find out who, you're not supposed to know who got who or what or why. Or for like the ones like I've done at work, where it's like it's totally random, and then you have the thing where it's like anybody can pick one, and then they have like that game where it's like the next person can pick either what somebody already got, or they can pick from the pile.
Oh yeah, or the white elephant. Yeah, we do that too.
Yeah. Oh, I got screwed on that real bad.
Yeah.
I had a $25 gift card, and then the next thing I know, I had Tupperware.
Maybe as we get closer to Christmas, I'll reveal what I got from my first white elephant.
I got a tie to go with my other tie.
God. That's the other part. It's like if you're a kid, you get what you kind of get what you want. If you're the woman, you kind of get what you want. If you're the guy, it's pretty much socks, underwears, and ties. Or some sort of hardware store thing that you didn't want to begin with. It's like,
you know that somebody's either re-gifted the thing that they gave you, or they oh yeah, I got this for you. Yeah, that would have been cool if I was 6.
Well, but I admit that I've re-gifted gifts that I've gotten earlier in the holiday season.
Oh, I've re-gifted. Not to you, Ivan, but I have re-gifted items that just because towards Christmas I was broke.
Yeah,
That
well,
too.
dude, that's fine.
There were years where I got.
Good. It was the thought of the gift that counted, man. I mean, how I got it.
It's like, I don't need this, and this person will appreciate it. That's how I see it.
Right, yeah.
And if you don't like it, screw them.
You know.
Yeah.
But you know, it's for the most of it, you know, yeah, you try hard to put your heart's content in it, but you know, you don't always get it every time, and you know, the percentage of getting people what they don't want is pretty big.
You say you got a white elephant at your workplace, Jeff?
Yeah, we do too. We do the gag gift, and we do
The
we do like
gift.
a real one.
Okay.
What did I get for that? At least usually I've gotten on the crappy gift. At least I usually have gotten away with getting the candy. Although I almost had a real good one. I had one, and unfortunately I wasn't last, and that was my problem. I was near the middle, and I opened it up, and it was that 2.5 pound Reese's peanut butter cup.
Oh shit!
I was like, oh baby, and everybody was like, oh, baby. And I'm like, oh, I'm never going to get to keep this. I am never going to get to keep this. But yeah.
You can't go wrong with a 2.5 pound Reese's.
Actually, I did. I've been feeling quite fast. Oh, yeah, and Saturday night I did restring my guitar, and I was remembering some chords. So I'm going to be playing some Christmas songs this year. I want to play more Christmas songs. I might even Facebook Live one or two.
Oh, that'd be cool, man. Yeah. That'd be real cool.
Yeah.
You know, I brought all the Christmas records out again, and I got some new additions for this year.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
The best Christmas records you've never heard. Andy Susan, he's going to be doing his
Stop.
What?
If they're the best records I've never heard, shouldn't I have heard of them before?
That's the point. They're the best Christmas records you've never heard. Been doing it for years, Jeff. I mean, all the Christmas records we ever played, Mike knows this for a fact, they're just so off the beaten path. You know, I mean, yeah, we would drop in one that you would recognize or two or three, but yeah, most of them, not so much.
Yeah, some of my favorite Christmas songs, I never hear them on the radio.
Like what?
Okay.
Like what?
Like the deep cuts from some of your popular artists, like Holly Leaves and Christmas Trees by Elvis Presley. Kids by Kenny Rogers.
Right.
Of course, they don't play Christmas at Ground Zero by Weird Al. And of course, all the funny ones. You know, I dig all the funny ones from like the Dr. Demento CD.
Yeah, some of my favorite Christmas tunes. Percy the Puny Poinsettia, which is the B-side of Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. Always did like that one a lot. And I Fell Out of a Christmas Tree by Little Rita Faye. Let's see. All I Want for Christmas Is My Two Front Teeth by Spike Jones.
Yeah, I have that.
City Slickers. That one's a good one.
Yep.
Let me see. And Captain Santa Claus and His Reindeer Space Patrol by Bobby Helms. Remember that one?
You probably played it on our old radio show.
Yeah, we sure did.
The only Bobby Helms one I know is, of course, Jingle Bell Rock.
Right.
It's the one they play ad nauseum. That's the ones I don't have on my phone. Those ones they play to death no matter where you go in any store you're in. Those are the ones you hear.
Yeah,
there's certain ones I've deleted, and I was like, I'm done with them. They play them too much. So we got 4 more weeks till Christmas. Hooray! So all this Christmas, hopefully they'll still be in the spirit 4 weeks from now. And one thing I thought about doing is I wanted to see Trans-Siberian Orchestra, but they always have the Chicago concert after Christmas. It's like this year it's like Friday the 28th. It's like I'd love to see it like before Christmas, because you know what? After Christmas Day, like hearing Christmas songs, the magic is kind of gone.
Well, yeah, I feel the same way.
Like,
I mean, 12 o'clock on the 25th, man, that's like, okay.
Even on Christmas Day, like leading up, like Christmas Eve, I love like just hearing songs, just sitting around by that, as the people, the family and friends gather for Christmas Eve. And then Christmas Day, it could be on in the background, and then I'm not conscious to it. I'm like, I don't want to be, because Christmas is just about over, and then like on the 26th, I'm like, now, the presents have been opened, you got, you know what you got, and it's all sitting around, so, well. So, we had a Cyber Monday. I did Cyber Monday for myself, so it was kind of bad.
You shouldn't,
Okay, I'm sure you guys remember the story about my eBay foibles,
Yeah.
Wait, you did Cyber Monday by yourself and you were kind of bad?
Yeah. Well, it was on sale. So, yeah, a friend of mine sent a link to an item. I'm not going to say what it was. It was a Transformer, but it was on sale.
Was it like the Transformer we talked about last week?
No, it was not. No, it was, come on, Jeff. Keep it PG for 1 week, can't you? Huh?
No, not really.
No way.
Not really.
I expect too much from you. But no, it was fine. But I did partake in the internet sales of the Black Friday weekend and Cyber Monday.
So you reached deep in the pocket for this one, huh?
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
But Cyber Monday, like I said, Cyber Monday don't mean nothing anymore because everybody's got a computer and everybody can order online anywhere they are. It's like Cyber Monday came from the Monday after Thanksgiving weekend. You couldn't find it in the store. You sneaked onto your computer at work and you did your online shopping there, because that's what Cyber Monday used to mean. That everybody would go on their computer that Monday and look for it on the internet.
It's just turned into a whole thing. It's like it's Black Friday, it's Small Business Saturday, it's Cyber Monday, it's Giving Tuesday. When is it like I get free money day? Is that
okay, and then of course Record Store Day, which has gotten corrupted in its situation as well. I mean, Record Store Day was to give the small business owners a chance to go ahead and do special things, give special discounts, promotions for their little businesses, and then corporate had to stick their finger in on it. Oh yes, records. Well, we're making more records now. Let's go ahead and get our piece of the pie of this thing. And now it's like presses are glommed up for anywhere from 6 months to a year, pressing out all of these Record Store Day pressings, which for the most of them, nobody really wants them.
Ivan.
What?
You'd be proud to know that my 17-year-old niece wants a vinyl record player for Christmas.
Wow.
And I went, was it the Wednesday before Thanksgiving? I went to the local Target, and Target had vinyl albums for sale.
I believe it.
But it was like Abbey Road and like the Vince Guaraldi Trio Christmas album. And,
just your top 10, 20, 40, 100.
Your more common, popular, your sure bets for what to sell.
What
on
they
vinyl. So my niece wants a vinyl record player.
Wow, so that's amazing.
So I just said, don't get a Crosley.
Yeah, thank you. Now that's a story in of itself. Mike knows my disdain for Crosley product. I mean, do you know about what a Crosley is, Jeff?
No, but then we never had Crosleys at work, so we never had that at work.
At the radio stations, no.
No. Okay. So, all right. The thing about it was that I know there used to be I don't know, there probably still are stores, Restoration Hardware, I guess they were called. And this was like, during the time when, album sales weren't really out there yet. So so Crosley started getting back into the phonograph game and everything. And the first Crosleys were dynamite. They were great machines. I mean, all American made and everything. But then after they got outsourced and everything, they became the crappiest pieces of shit you've ever put your record on. I mean, you want to destroy a good record, use a Crosley. You want to tell somebody you hate them, get them a Crosley.
How does a Crosley damage the record?
Well, the needle configurances are heavy, so the tracking force, it tears the records up. They're belt driven, and of course the parts being cheap, the motors don't stay uniform. You have to literally crank the dial all the way up to actually get anything out of the Crosley, because their amplifier is about the size of a graham cracker.
Okay, so couldn't you just change the needle to protect the record?
No, because all the needles are preset. They're the weight configurances on the tone arms. They're already preset at the factory. You can't make adjustments to them. And if somebody was weighing them down heavy, well, then that's what ended up happening to the records. And then that's a whole another deal happening after that with the situation. My good fortune, I have a Vestrak, VESTRAK, AX, sorry, and I've had it now. This one I've had for almost 20 years, and it runs on 4 batteries. Well, it's the one that I brought up to the cabin, to the park home, my Vesti player.
Oh yeah, I remember you.
Yeah, but getting back to the point, yeah, Crosley wishes they could have that kind of quality, but yeah, it slowly tapered off after it got outsourced. And I used to work at Logan Hardware Records, and I used to do repairs, and people would be bringing in those. I mean, I see the Crosley product around, and it was just always messed up, and it was just sad. So yeah, Crosley, not the route to go. If you can get Vestrak, they don't make my player anymore. You can find them online, but now they're asking astronomical prices for these things. But yeah, if you can get anything like Newark is always good. Pioneer just got back into the game. Yeah, and then Audio Technica.
Okay.
Also makes a great player too. So yeah, man, congratulations, man. I'm happy.
Don't congratulate me.
Yeah, it's not his.
Well, no, but I've heard,
how records are becoming retro.
Well, I mean, they people, the kids are realizing after they pull it out and see how full it sounds, they're like, "This is what we've been missing." Yeah.
Yeah, we've talked many a time about the allure of just holding an album in your hands. So
yeah.
So there you go. So hopefully many more people will be getting albums and vinyl for their first times this Christmas time.
One last little thing about albums. Did I tell you guys I got the Mad Monster ball and a Magic soundtrack? For it was the Halloween special. Right now they're doing like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. All those Rankin Bass stop action type movies now.
Yeah.
They're putting them on the air and everything. Well, they did one for Halloween. It was called the Mad Monster Party, and Phyllis Diller was in the soundtrack. Boris Karloff was in the soundtrack, and Gail Garland did a lot of the singing. It was also this type of thing. And I was over at Bric-a-Brac over here on Kedzie and Diversity. I walked in, and I couldn't believe I found it. I was just like, I'll be damned. So, yeah, not only are the old records coming back around, but now you're getting things that you never got before either. So, it's a good thing. I'd like to go ahead and, get your little niece's record collection started. That'd be cool.
Yeah, man.
Hey, speaking of music, I don't know if you caught this. I guess MTV's bringing back Unplugged.
Yes.
And so Rolling Stone had their top 15 all time of Unplugged appearances.
Yeah, I skimmed through that list. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of did too. I was curious to see if they started doing anything really dumb, like who they put in like the later brackets that they should never put in here.
Well, you guys saw the show, right?
Yeah.
I watched many of these. I've not seen all of them.
Well, all right. Of the ones you did see, which ones, got your attention?
Well,
Right.
I mean, let's be honest. The Clapton show pretty much brought Clapton back for an entire another generation.
And then Layla was played
Everywhere.
everywhere.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Yeah, Layla was everywhere, and that's so good. I'm with you. I'm with you, Mike. It's like I like Clapton, but it got a little over the top with how much Layla got played at that time. And,
Yeah. I liked REM's Unplugged.
Mariah Carey's was good. I thought Hole was good, and obviously they're in the top 10. I think my one complaint is, and I knew they were going to do this. They have Jay-Z at 3 from 2000, and I get that it's Jay-Z, but Jay-Z doesn't even happen without LL Cool J, who they put at 6. And if you've never seen the LL Cool J Mama Said Knock You Out acoustic, that is probably one of the greatest things I've ever seen. So to me, I'm kind of like, I was kind of like that. That was my biggest complaint. I'm not shocked at all at who's at 1.
Yeah.
Not shocked at all. Do you know who it was, Ivan?
What was that?
Nirvana.
Nirvana? Yeah. Well, Nirvana did do a very unique approach to the music that they were doing. Besides just being acoustic, it seemed like it had its own different dimensions about it. It made it a little more clear, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, he stated that was one of his favorite performances, was when he did Unplugged.
Well, again, I mean, it's funny because for me, a lot of the, just so our audience is aware, again, you can find this at rollingstone.com. The top 5 were the Eric Clapton that we talked about, Alice in Chains from 96, Jay-Z from 2001, Pearl Jam was number 2 from 1992, and then Nirvana. And that makes sense. I mean, especially given the time frame of when Unplugged happened, it makes
early 90s.
Right. It makes all the sense in the world that it's like there's a lot of these bands that were the 90s grunge. I mean, Unplugged really kind of helped them get over the top.
Yeah, I agree with you with that, Jeff. And the fact that, you had bands like Soundgarden, besides Nirvana, you had Stone Temple Pilots, you had so many of those grungy type of textures, and then you get them out there in their natural state, and it just changes the whole dynamic of what was being expressed without any loss of definition. So it's it helped out, and it helped out in several different things. It brought the music to a different light. And it was like, oh yeah, there is substance underneath all that musicality.
Yeah, you can find talent, but it's harder to find in this electronic age of anyone with a computer can make an album. So I'm all for bringing back Unplugged just to showcase actual people playing instruments before a live audience and actual singing, not all buried in synth or whatever.
Yeah, when they put the harmonizer in there, the pitch correction, the tone correction, all that type of stuff. It's engineers are making big money now, just trying to cover up whatever is deficient on the artists on stage. Back in the old days, either you had it or you didn't. And I think when Unplugged was trying to address that, because by that point, so much of it had disappeared in a sea of electronica. So that was quite the brainchild for what they created, and thus showed the people that not only are they creative in a musical over the top sensibility, but strip it all away, and there is so much more beneath the surface.
Yeah, I think it's interesting though, because given the time frames, because there was a lot of good dance music that is a lot of what you're talking about. That was that time frame. You
Right.
you had groups like CNC Music Factory. You had Black Box. You had,
Right.
and that stuff is still today. You put
That's not
that
relevant today as it's ever been. Yes.
But to Mike's point, I think it's interesting though, because, like I said, to me, one of the true crossover moments for Unplugged was the LL Cool J performance, and that's not to say the others weren't. I just think, I mean, you're talking about a rap act. You're talking about somebody where, you know, most rap acts at the time didn't use instruments. It was all turntables. I mean, this was really one of the first times that somebody sat there and said, okay, we're going to put you to a band. And now that's like commonplace. Now you see that in rap artists where you've seen that mesh. At the time, you didn't.
Uh-huh.
And I think that to me is why I'm like, that should be higher than 6.
Okay. No,
But,
it's a solid point, Jeff. It really is.
But Mike, and I'm curious because obviously you were watching more of this time frame as I was too. How much do you think it helped those bands to have that small space, that small intimate space to play something like grunge rock?
No, obviously it did boost it, and some, not all of them, but some of the artists did release their unplugged albums.
Yes.
As a result, not all of them did.
I got the Uptown label special MTV on the albums.
I don't know if MTV did like their own like compilation.
They did.
They did.
MTV was putting them out as they got recorded, and then they were able to do it.
So between like Clapton's Layla and Mariah's Jackson 5 cover, those were like big hits. I think maybe one of those from the Nirvana one was an album one. I forget which one it was. I don't know if it was Lithium.
That was the one with the man who sold the world.
Yes, that was the one.
Bowie cover.
Yeah.
Okay. And then
that got a lot of play on the on the classic rock stations.
What I seem to remember is Courtney Love just going nuts during Unplugged. When I say it's nuts, we're not talking about the usual drugged up Courtney Love. We're talking about just giving an insane performance, and it was a perfect venue for her, which is a small, intimate group, and she could really just do her thing. And I just remember her just really just taking over a stage and being like, "Wow, that
was Unplugged done, or did Alanis do Unplugged?"
Alanis was that question.
We'll have to Jeff. We'll have to look it up.
I'm working on it.
Now that's on the Squares of the Round Table bingo game where I ask Jeff something and he has to look it up online.
There is an Unplugged for Alanis Morissette. It was in the late 90s. Apparently, she did it like in okay. According to this, it was in September of '99 with a released album in November of '99.
Okay, so they fired that one off right away.
Well, that's kind of right at the height of Alanis, isn't it? I mean.
Well, yeah. Well, didn't she do Jagged Little Pill and then?
Now that I'm thinking about that, Alanis, Jagged Little Pill
was her big breakout album.
Yeah, Jagged Little Pill was a huge album for her.
Oh yeah. Well, wasn't that really pretty much the album for her? I don't know that she really had. I think she had like one other release, but then it kind of sank and without a trace. I still remember that she was God in one of the Kevin Smith movies.
Dogma.
Is it Dogma? Okay.
And let me see. And then, that was about the time, the Rentals, Friends of P was out there, that type of music. 11, bands like 11 with Reach Out.
Yeah.
And what else is there? That type of, grungy, soulful sensibility, just unleashed upon the people, who were doing their thing when they were doing Unplugged. I mean, I mean, to see it in its natural state was nothing short of amazing. It just shows that, yeah, you know what, that they went out there and they did their thing. And, the shit was real. And so, then it like I said, you just brought to a different light and a better understanding.
That reminds me, over the holiday weekend, I did catch some of this Genesis documentary from 2014 called Some of Their Parts or something.
Oh, yeah?
And I watched most of it, and yeah, obviously there's a rift between Tony Banks, the keyboard player, and the lead guitarist, Steve Hackett. When he left, I mean, they didn't even mention his solo career, and yeah, that was a slight. So, but anyway, so yeah. Yeah, I'm all for Unplugged coming back. Sure, bring on the talent. I'd be happy to see it.
I think that would be monumental. I would think that would be amazing. And we need more of that because right now, just like live performances are getting a black eye because people are discovering that they're getting covered up, that they're getting tune corrected, they're playing over tracks. I think it's a much needed sensibility.
Right, and get away from the spectacle.
Yes.
And all the flashing lights and the auto tune and the backup singers and the backup dancers. Just show us what you got.
Show us what you got. I mean, if you look at all of the early broadcasts of famous people, there they are. Here you go. Somebody had some imagination in the control room. They used it, but for the most of it, there they were. In all their beautiful, unspoiled, glory.
Yeah, there's something, I can't remember the name of the show. There was a show for a while on MTV in the 2000s that was kind of a mix between Unplugged and TRL. And I want to say the guy from Fallout Boy was hosting it, or one of the guys from Fallout Boy was hosting it. And the only reason I really remember it is there's a Katy Perry performance on there where she is absolutely going to town. And it's funny because I think it's interesting. I guess they brought back TRL and now they're doing Unplugged. I'm curious, maybe we will start to get music back on MTV. I
think the whole reality television market is starting to slim down and kind of lose its interest. So, what obvious purpose would it be for MTV not to go back to becoming what it was initially started as, music television?
Well, that and the whole music industry needs a shot in the arm, too.
Badly.
So.
Badly.
Does it?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I don't know about that. I mean, there's some phenomenal.
I'm not saying that there isn't a lot of good content out there, but what I'm saying too is that more of those people who are taking care of those situations, studios, agents and stuff like that. There should be more local interest than just the concentration of what's going on now.
You don't think there's local interest? I think there's more local interest than there's ever been.
Well, yeah, but I think the local interest needs, a much bigger view because, we had so much talent in this city, in our area. I mean, in all facets of music. I mean, Chicago, it's always been that music town. I just wish we could go back to the glories of the 60s where you could go down the street and get an agent, get it cut in the studio, get it pressed right down there. Oh, get it pressed. Okay, bing, 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 light go off in my head. Just for a second, let me deviate from that story a second. Did you guys hear about the new pressing plant that they opened here in Chicago? We are opening a pressing plant. It's called Smashed Records.
Okay.
And it's located at the old Hammond Organ Company over there on let's see, where's
Blue?
that? Blue Island.
Okay.
Yeah, it's over there by Blue Island and I think Western.
So is it opening, or is it open, or?
It is open, and
they're pressing albums.
We're pressing albums in the city again. First time in, almost 20, maybe 25 years. Yeah, I saw that news and I put it on my feed. I shot it off to a bunch of people. They responded to it. Man, I'm so happy because now the advent of maybe having a dream come true for me might actually be a little within more reach now. Because
okay.
I always told you I wanted to press an album, didn't I?
Okay, Ivan. Let's just throw a hypothetical out there. Like, say there's an artist you really like.
Yeah.
And you dig his stuff or her stuff. And then all of a sudden, this artist puts out an album that is not available for download.
Right.
Would you be opposed to that? Maybe I'm asking the wrong person, but
I wouldn't be opposed to that.
But what if but isolating the newer audience with the mobility of music on their phones, not downloadable. Okay. It's only available on vinyl.
Okay, now
wait. That'd be bad.
Let me think that through a bit. Okay, all right, because I guess I didn't quite get what you meant at first. Okay, as far as the album having digital download and everything, that's a must. That's a must. I mean, because you can't sit there and cut your fan base out. If you take away the equation of download, you need to have download with the volume album. So yeah, as far as the album release with download, it should be a thing, because then because not everybody is going to have a record player, and how are they going to enjoy this person's music if they don't have a record player? So as far as
because we've had so many years of having albums that are only out on digital. That might not, some albums, I know some, even like some soundtracks that I've bought, they're never a CD to be found. Some CDs weren't pressed for some of the music that I have on my phone. So now, and I'm not going to burn a CDR because I'll just plug my phone into my stereo. But so now we go the other way around where vinyl's coming back, and this artist will be like, vinyl forever, man. So they put out a record and there's no download available. And you want to patronize the artist, but you can't. You got to find a player. Somebody who ripped of it,
or somebody made a rip of it somewhere. Yeah, I mean that would be foolish not to have a downloadable code with your album. That's crazy. I mean, I know that for a long time, there were downloads, and no vinyl available and everything like that. And when they brought out CDs, then they stopped putting out vinyl for any of that altogether. Now it's all coming reverse. Now it's a matter of accessibility. I mean, that's just like, hi, I'm a Toastmaster, but I'm going to go on the Orpheum circuit and not go on this other circuit because I don't feel that's to my benefit.
Well, hey, look, it's just one of those, to me, I always kind of laugh, which is, you're going to have to, I mean, you're in a day and age where, vinyl, I'm glad vinyl's coming back, but you're going to have to make some real changes you're going to have to accept the fact that, there's a lot of people who still want portable music, and that's where it is. I mean, I hate to say it, that's kind of where it is, which is.
Oh yeah, well of course. And
the real question is, and this is the interesting question.
What's that?
And again, I don't know the science behind it as much, but the real question would be, how can you possibly make vinyl small enough where it could be more portable?
Well, okay. In the early part of the early part of the creation of the 45, which of course came, March 31st, 1949 was the first 45 pressing. So fast forward 10 years, Pontiac decides they want to go ahead and create an under-the-dash record player.
Mm-hmm.
And they did have some models with the players as, standard equipment and everything. And unfortunately, they didn't have the technology to make it where, you could play it, but if you could play it when you're parked and not have a problem with it, but you can't play it while your car was moving because that just wasn't possible.
That's great. That's awesome.
So being that situation, unfortunately it was an abysmal failure, so they applied the technology, turned it right side up and made a player that actually, worked off your kitchen counter. It was called a Kitchen-matic. It was basically all the rejected automobile players reconfigured.
Yeah.
So no, unfortunately the vinyl medium cannot be accented to the smallest point, which is 7
Well, I
inches.
wasn't thinking about the car so much as the fact that if you could figure out a way to attach it to a phone, and when I say attach it to a phone, that it's small enough, like, what if it was mini disc size?
Did someone say mini discs?
Mini disc. Okay, here's the thing.
Wait, hold on. We should probably back this up. Well, I guess we could be. I don't know if Mike was still recording or not. So.
Oh, yes.
Uh-huh.
I recorded every word you said.
Uh-oh.
It's admissible as evidence.
Uh-oh. Ruh-roh.
Ruh-roh, Raggy.
Ruh-roh, Raggy.
I say make a giant, like the old CD Discman, just make a big one as like a vinyl record man. And make a 33 and a third album in a big clamshell and put a big vinyl album sitting on your hip.
I was telling Jeff about the Recordmatics for the cars back in the late 50s, early 60s.
Oof.
Yeah, great when the car was parked, but not practical while the car was
moving.
driving. So, yeah, they only did that for like a few years. And then they reconfigured them and called them Kitchen-matics. They were just basically all the automobile record players that got changed into records you could play in your kitchen.
Mm.
See, now Mike gives me an idea. What if you had the old school 80s style boombox, but it was really two turntables?
They had
turntables. Now that would be badass, and people would take that places. That would be cool.
Believe it or not, there was a model by Panasonic that was a radio, had the two speakers on each side. You pulled the front compartment down, it was the turntable. And it ran on 6 batteries.
Yeah, well, that's probably why that. Like I said, to me, I think you're going to need to do both.
Oh no, they've had turntable ghetto blasters.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I see one on eBay right now that's made by Sharp.
Yep. That's the one with the turntable in the center, right?
Yeah, it's in the center. Yeah, vertical.
That's right.
And all the dials and stuff is on top along with the tape deck.
Huh.
Yep.
It's pretty 80s.
Oh yeah, it's an 80s
pretty
device.
wicked, totally tubular 80s boombox ghetto blaster. I'm about to lay down some cardboard and start breakdancing right now.
Yeah, you go ahead and watch your old VHSs of the New York City Breakers, I want to be like those guys.
Hey. There's nothing wrong. We could call this gives us the name for tonight's show, or today's show, which is Crosley Roundtable Podcast, Electric Boogaloo.
Mm-hmm. Our 29th sequel.
Yes, Electric Boogaloo. There's nothing wrong with Electric Boogaloo.
Sure.
There's nothing wrong with Electric Boogaloo.
By the way, gentlemen.
What?
Just, you see, here's the thing, Ivan. And I want to step back to something. You're like, oh, everyone's tired of the reality shows, right? Right?
I hope so.
Oh, well, guess what they announced now is the latest to come out next fall.
Oh, shit.
So you know how they have like Judge Judy, and they have like all those judge shows.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they've found a new judge, Judge Jerry.
Judge Jerry.
Jerry Seinfeld?
No, as in Jerry Springer.
I think Judge Jerry Seinfeld would have been much better. I say guilty. Guilty as charged.
Yeah, I don't think he'd do that. I think he thinks more of himself than Jerry Springer. But apparently Jerry Springer is doing a show, and there's a picture here on Variety, complete with him sitting behind the judge's thing that says Judge Jerry Springer.
Oh my.
And here's the scary part: 75%. It has 75% coverage, which means that 75% of U.S. TV households are going to be able to get this show.
Oh my gosh!
That should tell you all you need to know. This is where we're
except the few parts of the Deep South that the contestants and the defendants will be coming from.
Here's the thing: does that mean that Steve Wilkos has a new job? Is he going to be like the bailiff? How does this show work?
All rise for Judge Jerry.
Yeah, that would be the way to do it. Is all rise for Judge Jerry, and they're all Jerry, Jerry, Jerry. Everybody be seated. Shut up.
All the jurors be like, ooh, when there's a heavy burn on one.
Well, I don't think there is jurors. I think he's just like the Judge Jerry.
That's right. He's the judge, so he's the. Never mind.
Yeah, this is like a Wapner thing, only with Springer.
I'd watch Judge Jerry Dredd, where he's wearing the helmet, and Jerry's all like, "I am the law."
Yeah. I'm the law, and now transsexual Eskimos. But here's a quote from. Oh, here we go. Here's the quote from Jerry. For the first time in my life, I'm going to be called honorable.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Have you ever? I got to meet him once at U.S. Cellular. He was there. Boy, and this was at the height of when he was like the guy, and boy, was that he just was like in a different world, if you know what I mean. Like just. Like he knew he was the man and didn't seem to care, and I don't know, just totally exactly what you thought he would be. I don't know.
Lord.
Yeah, they need to do one with Maury Povich where it's just the lie detector. That's all they need to do. They really with Maury Povich, they only need to do 2 shows now. Is it a male or is it a woman?
Yeah.
Or the lie detector show, because I swear, just the part where he sits there and goes, "You are not the father." That's all.
That's stellar.
Yeah,
that's stellar television.
Where's this being taped? Stamford, Connecticut. Oh, because there's so many people in Stamford that are.
I think they were able to get around what kind of content they can have on their show because they're there. They're not as uptight, because remember Jerry's show wasn't Jerry's show here in Chicago for a while?
Yeah. Yeah, one of my coworkers was on one time.
Well, I mean, that whole thing, they just were looking for people, and anytime they were looking for people, it just for some people it was just a free trip to Chicago. For anybody who lived in the city, you were like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But, I guess, I don't know. I'll ask you guys. It seems as though it was a pretty good movie weekend, at least at the box office again.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been meaning to see these movies, but maybe Friday I'll catch one of these, but this week I'm busy decorating, man. I want to get the tree up, man.
Yeah, my week's kind of booked too. I got Jungle tomorrow, on Tuesday, and then I'm going to a tree lighting on Wednesday. I'm going to.
Yeah. Well, I'm just impressed because here's what it says, which is, according to this, revenue overall for the Thanksgiving box office was $314 million from Wednesday to Sunday.
That's not bad.
Including Ralph Breaks the Internet at 84.5 and Creed at 55.8. That means, I mean, think about this. That's only 1/3 of those who went to go to the movies. That means that there were others that were almost like 2/3 of it wasn't even those guys. It was just, it was just there seems to be a lot out there right now. As a matter of fact, they're saying it's box office records. Really, in reality, it looks like 2018 is going to be one hell of a movie year in terms of the amount of box office numbers.
Yeah, well, that Black Panther and Infinity War are big parts of that. We know this. But yeah, I do want to see some of these movies that have just come out. So, just been not enough time and, of course, not enough money.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of with you. I mean, I just think it's interesting because even I'm looking at this now. Third place that week. I mean, this is what's crazy. Third place this week was The Grinch at $30 million, followed by the Fantastic Beasts, which is the Harry Potter, which is like about another $30 million, and then the Queen biopic. Again, after a couple weeks, was at about 14. And that Robin Hood movie, which they did not publicize very well, 14 million, a little over 14 million in 5 days. Ouch. Boy, you know what? It's funny. Have you seen the ads for that, Mike, at all?
No, but can anyone name 3 actors that are in that film?
I can name 2.
Yeah, exactly.
I can name 2.
I can name 0 because I don't care.
In fairness, the ads look good. I feel like they didn't do a very good job promoting it.
Yeah.
So who knows? Based on who the two main actors are, I expect that they'll be just fine. One of the guys from is the guy from Kingsman, and the other one's Jamie Foxx. He'll be okay. So. Like I said.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Bumblebee ads yet at all?
I'm trying to avoid trailers now because it's coming closer to the film, and there's I see these on my news sites that I frequent saying, this ad has 17 seconds of extra footage we haven't seen yet. I'm like, I don't want to see it. The less I see before I see this movie at this point, the better.
Well, okay, so the reason I'm asking is that I'm seeing TV ads on a regular basis now, and while I understand what's going on and I see it and I get it, I'm kind of looking at these ads and I'm like, do people understand who Bumblebee is and that he's a Transformer and what the deal is with this? Because I feel like they're not doing a very good job explaining. And that has me concerned.
Explaining what? He's an alien robot, and he's befriending a young girl who is going to be adorable, I'm sure. So.
Yeah, but unfortunately you want the people who... Okay.
It's going to be like a lost puppy.
How can I put this? The people who you're trying to draw in are the casuals who go, but where's Optimus Prime?
They're going to see some... Either be like a recorded message or a flashback or something. But don't worry. I'm sure Optimus will be in the movie, but just not much because the name of the movie is Bumblebee.
Right. Well, that's what the problem is that it doesn't say Transformers Bumblebee. It just says Bumblebee.
That's right.
And I think that, I don't know. I'm looking at the ads. I'm like, I don't know. I feel like that there are some people who are going to be like, trust me. I have friends of mine who didn't seem to get Black Panther or didn't seem to get the Avengers stuff. So, and they're pretty smart people. And it's like, what? So I can't imagine they're getting this. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I'm sure it'll do okay. But,
Yeah, I did see the new. One of the. I forget which game it was, but on Thanksgiving, one of the games they did showcase the new Aquaman trailer,
yeah.
and it looks good. I'll see it, but it's not.
First reviews are out, and they supposedly look good. But
yeah, and apparently, I saw this. I caught this news article that Amazon Prime members can apply to see an early screening that in participating theaters, but I'm not an Amazon Prime member, and I have a friend of mine who is, and he's like, I got to do this with. So he's busy that night, so he's not even going to try to see it early, because it'd be convenient for me to see it early because I've got not as much going on before Bumblebee, but I'll just have to wait until maybe even after Christmas before I see Aquaman. Ivan goes, ugh.
Yeah, there's still, in fairness,
I'm tired just from you listening. I'm like, wow.
Well,
there's so many movies I want to see, and it's just
it's
all about time and money.
I think that's my concern. I think that's the only reason why I'm bringing up. I kind of brought up this Robin Hood thing, because it's like you just said, Mike. It's like I don't know who was in it. I don't know what it is. But I feel like there's some very good movies that are coming out here in the next few weeks that are going to get lost. Like, for example, you and I both saw the trailer for that Green Book movie.
Yeah.
And it looked interesting.
Yeah.
But I have this feeling like this Widows movie sounds interesting too that's out there now. But I feel like these movies are going to get lost.
Yeah.
And they may basically find themselves in Netflix and DVR land and on demand.
You're right. And over the winter, as we get closer to award season, you're going to see these become more prominent. Just like the 3 billboards with, what's her name from Fargo?
Yeah, I know. The one from Desperate Housewives.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great movie too. That's a phenomenal movie. But I'm looking at some of the stuff that's coming up.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen. Did they have previews for The Mule when you
I saw some teasers for Clint Eastwood's The Mule. I guess Bradley Cooper's in it,
and Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah, and Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah, no, it looks interesting. It looks interesting enough. I have a feeling that might be an Oscar movie too, but just a theory. That Mary Poppins movie, every time I see something for it, I'm like, okay. I'm telling you, and then I hear this Welcome to Marwan movie.
Yeah, Welcome to Marwan, yeah.
Is there, and then you've got, there's a bunch of, what I'm curious about is this. You've got a lot coming out here in the next month.
Yep.
And based on what we're seeing this weekend, with that, there was record numbers, and only a third of it were the big movies, were the big 2 releases. I have this feeling like they really could sustain all these movies. That some of these movies are not going to get as lost as we think they are. Just like the Once Upon a Deadpool thing. Did the trailer for that come out after our last show?
Yeah, that did come out last week.
Did it? Okay. Yeah, that's kind of funny. That I may have to go see it now, but yeah, there's just a lot, and I can't blame you, Mike. I'm kind of have the same reaction you do. It's like,
oh no, I'm in the same thing. So many movies, so little time, so little cash.
Yeah. Well, again, that I hate to say it. That's where Tuesday night is going to come in for a little while. Or
the old $5 Tuesday.
Absolutely. And let me tell you something. Last Tuesday, when you had Creed and Ralph Breaks the Internet, and we weren't even there for that lot was packed. Absolutely jam-packed. If you wanted to see those 2 movies, good luck. If you wanted to see something else, you were in good shape.
Yeah.
I'm curious what it's going to look like this Tuesday. But I don't know if I'm going to have time. But yeah, like I said, the only reason I brought this up is I just think it's interesting to see, I'm curious to see, like I said, there's a lot coming out here of interest in a lot of different directions, and I hope some of these movies don't get lost, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I bought my slew of tickets on Fandango for Bumblebee, so they are locked. But man, yeah, I do want to see. There's a bunch of ones. I'm just gonna have to be spontaneous and be all like, okay, I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna go see that right now because I want to see it. That's how it's gonna be for me.
I feel like some of these I'm gonna have the opportunity to see them after the first, and that may be an advantage. So, we'll see what we can get away with. It's rough because it's like, okay, we're doing a show, so we certainly want to talk about stuff, but when it comes out, but at the same time,
don't ever feel like, oh my God, I have to do this because I want to see this and we can talk about it on the show.
Yeah.
I just want to see it genuinely because I want to see it.
Well, right, exactly. It should have to be a requisite,
Right. Well, and here's the thing. We're getting to a point now, too, where, because I'm more of a TV guy than both of you guys are. And a lot of the TV shows are coming down to we're going to cut out until like sometime in January or until sometime in January after the holidays. So it's going to be interesting to see what's still available or around, if you know what I mean.
Uh-huh.
But, I think I mentioned it. The Elseworld stuff for CW starts on the 9th of December. It's the 9th, 10th, and 11th. I keep seeing trailer commercials. They look great. Great. And honestly, if you aren't watching any of the shows, you really don't have to watch them to catch what's going on usually. And like I said, sometimes they're better than the DC movies. Although I get the impression that may not be finally the case again.
So after this trilogy, this 3-parter, then they're done for the year until after the holidays?
I think they're going to probably do one more week where they'll probably do some sort of fall finales, and then they're probably done for the holidays. I haven't looked exactly, but a lot of these shows are coming down to like their fall finale here this week or next. But so yeah, like I said, trying to think what else. I don't know if you guys saw this. Apparently, the Nerdist did the top 50 serials ranked. This was apparently from March.
This article's from March?
Yeah.
About cereals.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Make your cereal selections, and all right. We talked about cereals last week.
Did we?
Yes, we did the Monsters Cinematic Universe, Monster cereals.
By the way, along those lines, just for your knowledge, Blueberry and Frankenberry are 48 and 47. Maybe that's why they needed to work on that. Let's go here. All right, what do we think? We'll do this really fast. What do we think is number 10?
Cheerios.
No, Cheerios is way higher than that. Cheerios
is ordinary, or it's plain.
Cornflakes. It's ordinary as cornflakes.
You think the highest ranking Cheerios listed is Honey Nut Cheerios at 16. In fairness, since this list came out, the chocolate peanut butter Cheerios are freaking amazing. I would put that in the top 10, but that's just me. Here, let me give you some perspective, okay? This might scare you. I'll give you the top. I'll give you 20 through 10, and then let's see if we can have a little fun with this. 20 is Apple Jacks. 19.
I've had Apple Jacks.
19 is Apple Cinnamon Cheerios. That sounds like Apple Jacks. There's number 18, something called Basic 4.
I think that was like Cheerios, but it was like different grains of circles.
Yeah, it says something about different textures and something. I don't know. I don't recognize the name. Here's where this list goes sideways. Number 17, Captain Crunch.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Captain Crunch has got to be higher, man.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I mean, there was a lot of really good breakfast in the morning with old Captain Crunch.
Absolutely, I'm with you.
Okay, the peanut butter crunches were great. The Oops All Berries were fabulous.
Well,
and,
they have the other versions of Captain Crunch listed, but Captain Crunch itself is listed 17, and their one complaint is it gets soggy right away. And I'm like, dude, that's not a good enough reason for it not to be in the top.
No, because all cereal gets soggy after a while. Come on.
Yeah. Mike, your thoughts?
I don't have any thoughts about cereal. I don't eat I don't eat much cereal anymore. I like Corn Pops, and I like honeycombs just as a dry snack to eat. But I don't eat much cereal anymore. Ivan, I can't. What were you saying, Ivan?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you there. No, I was saying that, I love Corn Pops, man.
Okay, man.
So 16.
I love Corn Pops, man.
16 we mentioned was Honey Nut Cheerios. 15 is Frosted Mini Wheats. 14 is Cocoa Krispies.
No, it should be higher.
Okay, yeah. 13, you mentioned Fruit Loops, right, Mike?
Fruit Loops is like Apple Jacks.
Kinda. I like Fruit Loops better than Apple Jacks. But Fruit Loops is 13.
I like Fruit Loops.
Honey Kicks. I didn't even know they had a Honey Kicks. Was 12. Raisin Bran is 11.
No. Should be lower.
Yeah. All right. So top 10. Any guesses? Any guesses for things in the top 10?
No.
Honeycomb.
Yeah, I like honeycombs and Corn Pops.
Yeah, them I like.
Honeycomb is not in the top 10.
Corn Pops.
Hold on a second. Is Corn Pops? No, that's not in the top 10 either.
Okay, this list can go fuck itself.
All right, let's try this a different direction. Number 10 is Cocoa Puffs. Which makes sense. Number 9 is something I don't think I've ever had. It's something called peanut butter puffins.
Nope.
I've never
Is
had.
That regional? I've never heard of that.
Yeah, I've not heard
peanut butter puffin.
Where's that new?
It's got to be new.
I know people seem to have known it for a while. I am not. I don't know. That's new to me. I'm not aware of a peanut butter puffins. And trust me,
that sounds like an Aldi brand, man.
I know. I mean, to me, I'm kind of laughing because I'm like, you know me.
I thought you were seeing Aldi or something, man.
You know me and peanut butter. I mean, it's like, if it's a peanut butter cereal, I'm all in. Okay, this is something called Barbara's Bakery's peanut butter cereal.
Never heard of that either.
Yeah, no, this seems very regional. Maybe I don't know. You can get it on Amazon. Well, you can get everything on Amazon. What do I know? Yeah, that's, I'm not seeing it. All right, so 8 is Fruity Pebbles.
Okay.
7 is Golden Grams.
I used to like Golden Grams as a kid, but not anymore.
Right. I mean, I'm thinking both sides of this, which is Golden Grams and as a kid and as an adult. Number 6 is Honey Bunches of Oats honey bunch of oats, honey roasted. I can buy that as an adult.
I can buy that as an adult. I've had that.
Number 5, and I guess this is what they're banking their entire universe on. Number 5 is Count Chocula. I don't know that.
How come Blueberry and Frankenberry are way at the bottom, but Count Chocula's in the top 5?
Could it just be that it's chocolate? Could it be that simple?
It's just chocolate, man.
But
it's just
like have Cocoa Puffs in this number 10.
Yeah, I know.
Cocoa Krispies. I mean,
yeah,
know, same type of shit.
Yeah. So yeah.
All right.
Wait, let's really take this into perspective. So number 4, and this makes sense, number 4 is Lucky Charms. Yeah, I've never been a real big fan of Lucky Charms either. Number 3, I thought this would be number 1, which should be the old standby.
Raisin Bran?
Well, we already had Raisin Bran at 11.
Okay.
Frosted Flakes is at 3.
Okay.
It's
not a good snack to eat dry. You gotta have it in milk because the pieces get too small.
Frosted Flakes is one of those cereals. It's just timeless, and everybody kind of can go.
Well, Frosted Flakes, I mean, just out of the cup, out of the box, it's like corn puffs,
Yeah. Number 2. This goes back to your chocolate thing, Mike. Number 2 is Cocoa Pebbles.
Okay, so Fruity Pebbles and Cocoa Pebbles are on the top 10 list.
I wonder how much of that has to do with the Flintstone connection. I'm serious. I
don't know. Something's going on here, man.
When you stop and think about it, could it really be that simple that it's Fruity Pebbles and Cocoa Pebbles because they were related to a popular Hanna-Barbera character?
That could very well be because Flintstones is just as relevant today as it's ever been.
Yeah, but I think they're talking about the actual how it tastes. Like, let's see here, Cocoa Pebbles. Because they're so small, Cocoa Pebbles can really fill the spoon, giving you much more complete, satisfying bite than most cereals. It's also perfectly sweet and makes it okay to eat chocolate for breakfast. See, here's the amusing part when they say that.
Uh-huh.
Okay, they have Cocoa Pebbles at 2, Count Chocula at 5, Cocoa Puffs at 10, Cocoa Krispies at 14. So basically, 3 of the top 15 are all chocolate.
Right, so the people that are judging this thing actually kind of heavy in the chocolate situation.
So, any guesses what number 1 is?
No.
I've never really had this one. I'll be the first to admit, but people swear by it, which is Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
I've had Cinnamon Toast Crunch, but it would have been number 1 though.
Yeah, that wouldn't. I feel like maybe. Yeah, I'm with you.
3, 4 maybe, but no, not 1, man.
Yeah. What was you said corn pops, right, Mike?
Yeah, like corn pops. Yeah.
I love corn pops.
By the way, honeycomb 40.
Bullshit.
No way.
Honeycomb is at 40. This should make Ivan really even more annoyed. 2 behind cornflakes.
Oh my gosh.
Well, here's an example. 39 is Cookie Crisps. But I feel like that's like, they haven't had the kind of, like when I was a kid, Cookie Crisp was a big deal, but I don't feel like it's been pushed as much.
Yeah, Cookie Crisp was alright.
It's also changed. It's also changed a little bit. The Cookie Crisps are not the same type of design that they were now than they were then.
Yeah. It's funny. They put out the different types of Captain Crunch. Like peanut butter Captain Crunch was 33. Crunch Berries was 31. I'm looking to see here Reese's Puffs, which I've heard are phenomenal, are 25.
They are great. They are great. I have a box of them right here.
Cocoa Puffs are 23.
No.
Yeah, like I said, this list went south the minute that Captain Crunch is not in the top 10. And really, in reality, Captain Crunch should be in the top 5.
Yes, Captain Crunch should be in the top 5.
If it's under the blanket, wait a minute. The Captain Crunch they used the blanket for Captain Crunch. But they didn't use the blanket for any of the other, like the 2 Pebbles.
No, they talked about Crunch Berries, and they listed Crunch Berries and the peanut butter one separately, and they were a lot lower.
Okay.
But yeah, like I said, I only brought this up because I thought it was interesting.
No, it was cool. I mean, it kind of gave you this overview about, what we thought of our favorite cereals against what other people think are their favorite cereals, I mean, I've tried a whole lot of cereals growing up. I was that I was that Saturday morning cereal kid, man. That was one of the thrills of life, man. Getting up early in the morning, going in the kitchen, digging into some of that cereal. Not in a bowl, no, the baker's bowl, like the one you mix things in for cake.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I was going to ask you. Did you get, like, the little bowl? Did you have, like, the kind of medium-sized bowl? Or did you have, like, the monster bowl?
I had, like, the medium-sized bowl, man. It was like, good whole lot of milk in there, and then, off that cereal went, man. I mean, went through a few of them. King Vitamin. Do you guys remember King Vitamin?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't know that one.
I mean, well, there was a few of them. I mean, there was Rice Crinkles, there was Alphabets.
Yeah, Alphabets was on the list, but
I like Alphabets. Yeah.
Let's see. Then, what else was there? Then, Sugar Crisp.
Yeah, that was on that list too. That was in the.
Which was like the Diggum Frog.
Yeah.
Honey Smacks.
Yeah, that's in there.
Yeah, did you know that, we're talking about cereal, did you know that there's actual animation? Post Cereals had a cartoon series, and it was called, let me see, Louis the Lionhearted. And, it was all the, icons of the Post Cereals, they each had these different cartoons. Go on YouTube and check it out, it'll trip you out, because here it is, I've never seen anything since then where a company would produce its own cartoons using its own iconic characters from their breakfast cereals. It's really something. Those Post cereals were actually really good then, too. Yeah, I was a cereal-loving kid.
Yeah, well.
What else was there?
No, like I said. So wait, Mike, what do you eat for breakfast now, Mike?
I usually don't eat breakfast.
Oh.
I'll just take like half a glass of orange juice and grab either just a cake or maybe just even I have a waffle or some bacon left over from the weekend that I'll just have a quick little breakfast, mini breakfast. So yeah, I really don't eat much cereal anymore aside from just pour a bowl and I'll just eat it dry as I watch TV or something.
Yeah, I keep every other day type of cereal routine, especially when Jules is not here to cook breakfast. So, my go-to, in fact, the three I got up there, I got let's see, I got a blueberry.
Blueberry.
I got a Fruit Loops and I got a Raisin Bran. And then let me see. Yeah. Those are the three I got right now.
Yeah, so my ideal cereal at this current stage of my life is one that is not bound by its size and submersible in milk, where I can just eat it as a snack without milk.
Yeah, but it's
i.e. the Corn Pops or the Honeycombs.
Oh no, I like the Corn Pops and the Honeycombs dry.
Or Apple Jacks, or what else?
I feel like everything's that way. Are there ones that you feel like aren't that way?
What's that, Jeff?
Are there ones you feel that aren't that way?
Oh, the ones that I do enjoy in milk?
Well, no, I mean, I feel like all of them can be enjoyed without milk, right? Or no?
No, because they're small. The particles are too small, like Lucky Charms. I just maybe grab a handful, but then it makes a mess because they're tiny bits and they fall between your fingers and they get on the floor.
Yeah, just kind of like the Rice Krispies, the Cocoa.
Yeah,
Krispies,
exactly, Rice Krispies. Those are two
Pebbles, the Fruity Pebbles, the Cocoa Pebbles with the small, really tiny granular type.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because for me, I'm thinking okay, Frosted Flakes would be just fine. Or
heck yeah, you can stick your hand full of Frosted Flakes. That's always good.
Yeah.
Sugar Smacks is always good. Or the Frosted Mini Wheats, depending on what.
Yeah, those are pretty good too. I'm telling you, Ivan, if you get a chance, those chocolate peanut butter Cheerios are freaking amazing.
Oh, okay, I'm down with that.
Okay, when I say amazing, you open the bag.
I think that's your face, man. Yep.
When you open the bag, you can smell them down the hall.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, no, whoever
is awesome
those was freaking evil.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah.
Oh no, they're very, very good.
No, that sounds great, man. Try the Reese cups, man.
Yeah, well, okay, I can't do that right now. I'm trying.
Well, I mean, when you can, I mean, take it in. Yeah.
Fine. One of these days again. When I'm not being deprived.
So, yeah, how is the Nutrisystem thing going, Jeff?
Yes.
It's going okay.
Obviously, we've had a bad week for it now.
Yeah,
so.
this was not a doing that.
I can do for the week for that.
No.
Yeah, but in fairness, all right. The first week was really good. Obviously, once you start, I was trying to keep it simple, and the more I start to open myself up to like doing things and being with people, the more harder it gets. But it's still, I'm better than I was 3 weeks ago before I started in terms of what I'm eating and why. So
yeah. The holidays, it's tough. Even just like these couple weeks before the holidays really kick in. Like the end of the year, obviously New Year's is going to be bad, but then obviously we all start the New Year's diet. So
yeah,
I should try and curb my.
I'm sorry.
You should all try and curb our eating before the end of the year, a little bit here these couple weeks.
And until the resolution gets broken again.
Well, then once New Year's hits, then we can go back to salads and water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to avoid. I'm trying to avoid that kind of stuff because
we can avoid the romaine lettuce, that's for sure.
Yeah, really.
I mean, that's no laughing matter, but yeah.
Yeah, because there's not enough jokes about romaine lettuce right about now at all anywhere. Oh my god! Everyone needs to remain calm. Let us all be okay with this.
Oh my goodness.
By the way, did you see Michael Dorn wants a Warp series, Mike?
Yeah, well, he's been talking about it for years.
Yeah.
Since DS9 ended. And speaking of which, we should be coming up on any release date for that DS9 documentary I've been waiting on. I was part of that Kickstarter for that documentary. I'm waiting on pins and needles for that.
Okay.
But they've been saying other cast members, and now obviously with this Picard series coming next year, who they're all saying who else is from the Enterprise D and E are going to come back and join Jean-Luc again. So
honestly, I'd be kind of. I mean, this sounds kind of bad, but I kind of hope for the first season not many at all.
Yeah, I agree.
I think you keep that limited, and that's something you can come back to later. And honestly, there's a part of me where it's like it'd be interesting if you kept that limited with the idea of, okay, what happened to all those people and all that, or, that's just me. I don't know. I just am.
I say the less the better. And of course, Brent Spiner even admitted himself when spoiler alert, Data dies at the end of Nemesis, saying, I was getting too old to play an android that was not supposed to age. So that's why he was okay with his character dying at the end of that. So none of these actors are getting, but it's different obviously for him, but unless they use some CG that'll make him look young again, who knows, but kind of de-age him like Marvel.
Yeah, I mean, you can do some of that.
Star Trek, and of course next year we'll get the Orville and Season 2 of Discovery, so I'll be on that in January, February. So something to keep me busy for the winter.
And then I guess there was that trailer for The Lion King that came out. That
came out of nowhere. Yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised. I guess they debuted it in the middle of Thanksgiving, which I'm like, why would you do it then? But okay.
Yeah.
I didn't do very much during it, so I'm like, okay, sure. I
haven't been a big fan of it. I know people who are big fans of The Lion King, and Jon Favreau did good on The Jungle Book, so I'm sure he'll do fine on this. So.
Yeah, like I said, to me, I just, with some of these Disney properties that they're working on, I get nervous because I really feel like, how can you do better than the animation? How are you really going to make this work without real animation?
Yeah, like the Pete's Dragon one was here and gone, and no one talked about it.
Well, I guess, it's funny. I guess they're working on an Aladdin one, and Will Smith is going to play the genie. Yeah. And it's funny because Will Smith even said he's like, I want no part of that at one point, because he was like, I gotta follow Robin Williams. I'm like, I can't do that. Nobody can do that. And I guess he figured out a way to do it in a respectful way or something he was talking about. But
right, he's got to put his own spin on it.
Yeah,
because any way you're aping Robin Williams' style as the genie, it's dead. It's delegitimizes it.
Yeah, well.
And of course they're doing a live action Mulan too. I don't know if that started filming yet. But.
I don't know.
So it was last year. Was the biggest movie last year was that Beauty and the Beast remake. So obviously Disney's going to follow that.
Sure, that's true. Was that really the biggest movie?
One of the biggest movies of 2017 was the Beauty and the Beast live action.
How do you like that? What were the big? Now you've got me curious.
Ivan, what live action remake would you like to see of all the Disney animated films from the Golden Age?
Let's see. Well, man, that's hard because there's so many good ones.
What was one of your favorites back then?
Well, one of my favorites back then was Robin Hood.
All right. Let's say they're doing a Robin Hood. But instead of the animals all being anthropomorphic, they could be like just actual, like real animals. But maybe just standing on their hind legs. Maybe with a bit of clothing. But
yeah.
So who would you want to voice as Robin Hood in this?
I know a guy. His name is Mike Boyle. But,
I'm Robin Hood. Look at me. I'm going to shoot an arrow.
Well, anyway, who would I want to get to voice Robin Hood?
What celebrity? Not just podcast co-host.
Okay. George Clooney?
Okay, I could do it, I suppose. Was it the one he did, the Mr. Fox or something like that?
Yes, he did.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a bit of charisma. I could see that. Maybe his voice being the voice of Robin Hood is the charismatic titular character.
I could see Reese Witherspoon as Marion.
Is her voice really that distinctive? I don't know. I suppose. I'm kind of done with Reese Witherspoon after she did a whole pulled over, the cops pulled the boyfriend over and he had been drinking, and she pulls this "Do you know who I am?" Thing on the cop. Yeah. So I'm kind of done with her.
By the way, Mike.
I didn't know that.
By the way, Mike, it wasn't one of the top movies in 2017.
It was the
top movie in 2017.
Yeah.
Beauty and the Beast.
So obviously Disney's going to keep cranking these out until they're no longer profitable. But I did like the Jungle Book. I did see that. But from what I heard, that the Beauty and the Beast was just like, in some points, it was like frame for frame, shot for shot, like the same angle as the animated. So I'm like, I'm just going to watch the animated one. I'm not going to see this.
Here's what scares me. You know what number 3 was for 2017?
Was it Transformers 5?
No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't with Mark Wahlberg.
I'll tell you. Number 2 was Fate of the Furious, which was one of the Fast and Furious movies.
Yeah.
This is shocking to me. Number 3, Despicable Me 3.
Never saw it.
I didn't see it either, and it didn't look good, but it did over 1 billion worldwide.
I just liked the first one. And I never saw Minions. I didn't see the second one. And the third one was kind of interesting because Trey Parker was the voice of the the rival or the villain in it.
Mm-hmm.
So I almost went and saw it. But
Minions was a disappointment. It was funny because it looked like it was going to be hysterical, but if you saw the trailers, you pretty much saw the movie.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that.
I'm done now. The Minions.
FYI, just to round it out real fast, Spider-Man was 4.
Homecoming.
Guardians of the Galaxy was 5. Thor Ragnarok was 6. So basically, 4 through 6 was Marvel. 7 was Wonder Woman. 8 was Pirates of the Pirate Caribbean, Dead Man's Elmo Tales. So for all the talk about how the fifth one wasn't any good, it still did almost 800 million almost 800 million worldwide. It was 9, and believe it or not, the highly panned Justice League movie did 636 million worldwide.
And it's considered a failure.
And it's considered a failure.
Yeah.
Which is just amazing.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. That's like that Robin Hood movie, ironically, that just came out because it had a $100 million budget, and it's not going to make it back. So now it's a failure. And yet, Venom is absolutely killing it, which I don't understand.
Yeah.
And
I don't know.
They're gonna. I don't get it.
Sounds like Venom's cleaning up.
Can't believe it. That's such a bad movie. I can talk like this. There's your role, Mike. You could be the new voice of Venom. Talk like this the whole time. Eat your head.
So we're getting towards the end of the year, so now we can talk about what was the best and worst so-and-so of 2019.
Yeah.
I've already seen that already. I'm like, we're not even done with November, and you're talking about the best of the year. I'm like, I'm seeing these end-of-the-year compilations already. I'm like, everybody, come on now. We got one more month, people.
I've already seen the list for, like, the celebrities we lost, and it's like, after the 1 year where we lost people, like, right at the end of the year, you're really going to put that list out this early? Like, last year, didn't we lose, like, George Michael, like, right at the end of the year and crazy stuff like that? Or, I don't know, was that?
We lost a lot of people last year.
In 2018? I have the list here. Do you want me to pull it up? I put it on our Facebook page, which is a good plug for us.
We'll wait till the end of the year to bring up celebrities we've lost. Because we ain't the end of the year yet.
Bring out your...
Bring out your dead.
Bring out your dead. Bring out your dead. Is it time, gentlemen?
Yeah, I think it's time.
Okay.
To give us a kind of a lightning round kind of thing here.
I'll try to make it as fast as possible.
All right.
Curling team banned from Alberta tournament for being so drunk.
Yes. Yes.
Curling has long been billed as a sport that you can play while drinking. While that's true, it's not unheard of for recreational and competitive players to have a beer during the game. It's definitely not true that you can play drunk or at least play it well. During the fourth game, an elimination game, when the behavior forced the manager of the curling facility to give them the heave-ho after numerous complaints. Only was the squad reportedly drunk, but they caused damage to the locker room throughout the weekend, smashed the brooms into the ice, and kicked stones, all curling no-dos, and they were banned from this tournament in perpetuity.
Curling is like bowling, but you're getting your friends to help you get it down the lane.
Let's see.
The thing that resembles a broom.
Here's an account of what happened. And this member voice, there's a video on our site, had 30 to 40 empty bottles of beer, and they were doing shots at 11 a.m. Kicking rocks, throwing brooms, got disqualified. Other teams were saying, we do not even want to play here anymore if they are allowed. Apparently there was a $35,000 purse for the winning team and an estimated take-home of $10,000. But
Some people take curling very seriously.
Yes.
Yes. It would seem.
You know.
Curling snobs.
Yeah. Take out your sweeps. I think, or whatever the heck it is. I don't know.
Okay.
Well, they were given the broom, so.
This one was interesting. Shania
They
Twain.
got the brush off.
Yeah. Oh, God, where is it? Okay. Shania Twain says that she peed herself multiple times on stage. The show must go on.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
So we won't see her on Unplugged.
Yeah, so just
Shania
be yourself.
Twain got real on Bravo's Watch What Happened with Live with Andy Cohen. While playing a game of Does That Impress Me Much, the late night host had to guess a factor that pertains to each celebrity. And apparently, she said that she's peed herself. I'm on stage all the time. I've peed myself on stage. The show must go on.
TMI, Shania.
Yeah.
You want to know the detailed specific instance? Because let's face it, we're all dying to know how she pulled that off without a hitch in front of an entire audience. She says, quote, I was very clever in this one moment. I stood up from my chair to get up, sang, peed myself, and then the puddle, I just knocked over a glass of water. I was wearing a skirt, thank goodness I stood up. It all came out. I was dry, and the glass of water was on my seat.
Wow.
I think you're dyslexic when you think ahead of these things.
Oh, my God.
She also copped to another embarrassing moment where she locked herself out of a hotel room while wait for it, looking for a bathroom.
Oh, my God.
And this apparently happened in Rome. So here's the real amusing part to me about this. If you think you're going to have this problem, you know, they have those underwear. And really, in reality, if I was someone with the pens, I'd have called her by now.
Yeah.
Been like, okay, we could like totally like do a tour and everything. I think she wants to admit that.
And if someone, she wants to have some roadie ready with a bucket just off stage.
Yeah,
if
it was Lita Ford, there'd be people wanting to drink it.
And if you got a talented band, let him play like a 2-minute instrumental in between songs.
Right.
While you take care of your biology.
Here's the real question. What happens if you gotta go number 2?
Well, then you're done.
Yeah. Shit happens.
Shit happens. Shit happens, Shania. So, yeah, Shania's bathroom fetish is out for everyone.
Yeah.
So.
That doesn't impress me much.
Yeah, no.
Okay, stolen snowplow truck driven by a man without pants crashes in Portugal's coast. I knew I was going to get that reaction. The man is facing numerous charges, including flagrant of police and possession of stolen property. The pantsless man is facing a number of charges after a stolen truck with a snowplow blow wound up overturned on Portugal Cove, St. Philip, Sunday. It's supposed to happen in Canada.
A pantsless person from Portugal pilfered a plow.
No, I think this is actually in Canada, but that's very good. Let's see.
Talk about putting your ass out
The
there.
officers were located the vehicle, but were unable to stop it. Short-term vehicle. The vehicle was upside down near the ferry. According to the crash damaged multiple utility poles and shut down the beat. This is not nearly as funny.
Did he have to pee between stealing plows?
I don't think so. But here's the question. What makes you sit there and go, if I'm going to steal it, no pants? Why do we need pants? Did he just want the breeze? Is that kind of how this works?
The breezes that pleases.
I just don't.
Sometime when you're out there on the beach and that cool summer wind hits your inner thigh, it is actually quite soothing.
Okay.
Next story, please.
That was too much information. This one is actually, we should have had this one for the last show, but we didn't have it at the time.
Oh.
This chest-mounted robot feeding arm can stuff your face when you're too full to move.
What?
Yes.
Apparently you can strap this arm to your body. You put it around yourself.
Your chest.
on your chest, and apparently it will feed you.
It will raise food, but not all the way up to your mouth, though. You got to kind of lean forward and.
Yeah, you got to kind of lean forward.
Yeah.
The Armadine.
Could have used one.
Arm.
I needed one of these on Thursday. Mashed potatoes. Need more turkey. More robot arm assist.
Okay, bring it over.
Just need to get hooked up to like Alexa. Alexa, raise the arm.
Alexa, feed me.
Here's a weird question. How does this? Okay, I'm watching the video, so apparently you still have to move somewhat to where you want to get what you want to eat.
Yeah.
And then, you know what this reminds me of? This is the claw game, except for humans.
That's right.
This is seriously the claw game, except now you actually want your food. This
he
is like
decides who will go and who will stay.
This is like having chopsticks. This is like having chopsticks.
Yeah.
That was even ruder. No, that's a bad idea. I'm going to skip the fact that skip this one. I don't think we need that one. Here's one. I don't know if you've seen this. Have you ever seen Storage Wars?
I've seen Storage Wars.
Okay, so get this. Ready for this one?
Yeah.
Apparently, it says Dan Dotson, a familiar face for the A&E reality show Storage Wars, was standing at a charity event when a woman quietly approached him. She had a story to tell the auctioneer. Her friend bought a storage unit from Dotson the month before in Southern California and found inside the shed was $7.5 million in cash.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
It was an amazing story. I gotta tell you this story. My husband works for the guy who bought the unit from you, and there was a safe in there. Dotson tried to hear the woman over the din of the event, the cars, and some sort of auction. But he did catch the peak of the story. She says there was a safe in the unit. The first guy couldn't open it, so they called the second guy, and there was $7.5 million. And I say $7.5 million cash.
Wow.
The unit was sold in, and the name of the owner was not given out. Now, it's interesting because there's another version of this story. Oh, here it is. That's the thing when the original owners of the storage unit found out that their storage locker sold, had that in it, they contacted the new owner to negotiate a deal and reclaim the money. The attorney originally offered the new unit owner $600,000 of the $7.5 million, but eventually agreed to keep $1.2 million and return the rest.
Oh, wow.
So basically, the long and the short of it is they found 7.5.
Right?
And they gave them, then essentially they got 1.2.
Wow.
Okay.
And apparently they bought it from the guys who do the auctions for Storage Wars.
Wow.
That's crazy. Why can't stuff like that happen to us?
I don't know, man.
Yeah, that is just crazy stuff right there. Okay, not nearly as funny, but just wild.
7.5 million. What would you do with 7.5 million?
Not work anymore?
One word, Caligula.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
What?
There's a particular scene that the movie Caligula is known for, Ivan.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm familiar. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
Man arrested after allegedly assaulting his wife in a hot pocket.
Gesundheit, Ivan. I'm sorry, Jeff. You'll have to start over. Ivan's involuntary sneezing.
That's funny. I know why he's sneezing, because as soon as he heard this, he was going to laugh really hard.
Yeah.
A man arrested after allegedly assaulting his girlfriend with a hot pocket.
What? A hot pocket?
Yeah.
You know, those suckers can get hot.
Yeah.
Did she get burned?
I'm getting there. Apparently this took place in Wyoming. Not a shock.
Not in Florida.
21-year-old
I hope it missed her.
after allegedly assaulting his girlfriend with a piping hot pepperoni pizza hot pocket.
Wow.
Left the victim with savage burns. That's exactly what happened on the left side of her face and her left ear.
Ooh. Freaking nuclear, man.
Oh.
Despite the unusual circumstances surrounding the police report made it clear this was no laughing matter. The original account from Mrs. Drake described the victim's face as blistering and falling off after she had been struck whilst the first cop arrived on the scene. Okay, this is kind of funny.
Put that boy in a cell and get him hot-pocketed in his face, man.
Get it hot pocket impaled in his ass.
Well, this is kind of funny. Officer Kerr noted the significant hot pocket shrapnel all over her neck and shirt. Shrapnel? That's what you would call it? How about pepperoni?
Yeah.
I don't think I'd call it, at the moment. Motivation for the attack is unclear. This is not nearly as funny as I thought it would be. But it does sound funny.
Okay, well here I thought like maybe he threw a cold one at her or something.
No, that would be down.
That's usually how it is when you nuke a hot pocket. You get the middle, it's like, ow, and then like the edges sometimes, the other side can be like super cold.
If you go on our Facebook webpage, you'll see the thing where apparently people are putting their real boobs for Christmas sweaters and decorations.
Oh, I've seen that. Oh, yeah. They're cutting out their sweaters.
You can take a look at that on your own. Let's see. We're almost done. Let's see. You can now buy jeans that stops everyone from smelling your farts.
Color me interested.
Let's see. It is certainly impolite to let one rip if you just can't make it to the bathroom. The only thing you can do is hope it comes out silently. But since we wish not to stink at all, one fashion company has started prayers. Well, it's absolutely unhealthy not to pass gas at all. According to this, we fart up to 14 times a day. Didn't know that. Somebody named Shreddy came up with the next thing, which is flatulence filtering jeans.
Okay.
How does it work? The same brand that brought you the flatulence-fitting underwear and pajamas. Didn't know that existed either. These garments help you stay fresh to death as they feature an activated carbon back panel that absorbs all the flatulence odor. I'm telling you right now,
Jeff, we can't hear what you're saying over Ivan.
I'm telling you right now, if I eat Taco Bell, there's no way in hell that this is going to work.
Yeah. Do we have a pair of pants that can contain Shania Twain's pee, though?
Yeah, if you snag a pair of these unique pants, $170 for a pair.
Wow.
Not worth it. Nope, my family's going to get it all.
Oh my God! I mean, can you imagine? Excuse me, dear. Before we go out tonight, I need to put a new filter in my pants.
like one of those charcoal square filters in the back. Yeah. Like slide it out like a furnace filter out of the back of your pants.
Okay.
Yeah, hold on, I have to go to the bathroom. I got to change the filter. Could you imagine, walking in on some guy changing the filter in the bathroom?
I let one out before I put the filter back in. Sorry.
Yeah.
All you see is this crisscross design on a white piece of filter. No.
Hold on a second. No. You know at that point, that thing ain't white no more.
And it has arrows on the edge of it, so you know which way to put it in, where the airflow, the direction for the airflow.
Here's the real question. What happens when you get those ones, you know which ones I'm talking about, where you think it's just going to be the fart, and then,
That's when you call Shania Twain.
Yeah, apparently so. By the way, size for women, sizes 4 to 16, men 28 to 40-inch waists. They come in lengths of short and medium and tall. The company is called Shreddies. There you go.
Do they give you a box of filters that, one says light day, one says medium day, one says heavy day?
Yeah, I don't think that's how that. Almost through here. A Dutch Christian boat maker aims to sell his replica Noah's Ark to Israel. This guy built the Noah's Ark? Are you kidding me?
What?
He's going to sail this thing? All I keep thinking when I see this is the minnow would be lost.
You can put it right next to the new Titanic they're building.
And the spruce goose. You know what the spruce goose is, right?
This thing's made of 12,000 trees.
Yeah.
390-foot long vessel. 75 feet tall. 4 years of construction completed in 2012. I'm just looking at this thing. So he's going to take this thing and take it to Israel.
Wow. Well, let's hope he had better luck than Howard Hughes had with the spruce goose. You guys know this story?
Yeah, kind of. And finally...
Okay, go ahead.
Finally... Kate Beckinsale showed off the results of a $650 facial that used liquefied clone foreskins.
What?
And she's not the only celebrity to try it.
Jesus
Christ. Oh, okay.
The news is all like, hell, man, that Shania story is fucked up. And the other Kate Beckinsale's all like, hold my beer.
Yeah, really, no joke.
Wow.
The treatment is offered by Georgia Louise Altier of the New York City. It's been dubbed the penis facial because it includes a serum derived from newborn baby foreskin.
Dude.
Oh.
Dude.
That's a little gone too far.
Oh, that's despicable, man.
Well, it's cloned. It's not really theirs.
Yeah.
How is it like cloned? How do you? Oh, like they grew it?
I think they grew it.
Okay.
They grew it inside of a tube.
Yeah, something like that. I think they just grew this. I'm not going any further, but apparently she's not the only celebrity who's done it. I don't see a list of other names here though, for obvious reasons. Hold on. I'm sorry. Sandra Bullock has done this, and Kate Blanchett. Well, that explains why Sandra has that glow on her face these days.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
I really feel like I need to find another story just to end on.
That's what you do when you get all this money. Like when you win the storage war, you know what? I'm going to get me a $650 facial with used from. I can't even say it out loud.
Yeah, I know.
Fucking disgusting.
That's sick.
I don't care who says that's like the best thing ever for your skin. It's like I'm not putting that shit on my face.
No,
it's not shit.
Some things you just don't do, man.
Gross.
Some things you just don't do.
All right. We'll try to end here. We'll go here. This was kind of a weird story.
Let's find one more here one last one.
Let's see. Ohio State Supreme Court says bobbleheads aren't legally free giveaways.
Yeah, I read the semantics of this article.
Apparently, the Ohio Board of Taxation ruled that the Cincinnati Reds owed $88,000 in back sales taxes on promotional items the team is giving away to fans, mostly bobbleheads. The Reds appealed that basically they should be able to give this away without sales tax, and they should. As somebody who works in this industry, this is really, really scary for me. Because, these are supposed to be resale items and it's something that they bought for a giveaway. They shouldn't have to be nailed for taxes on this. But, this is not nearly as funny.
Yeah, but who has, if it's a free giveaway, the customer who has already paid the ticket isn't paying the taxes. But are those taxes that are tacked on to the ticket sales, are those taxes, those fees being collected go towards the tax of the purchase of the original item from the manufacturer. Boy, this just sounds boring.
Wait, so here's the not boring part.
Okay.
Apparently, and I think this is now just in Ohio, of course it is, if you show up late and they do not have any, they are required to give you something, and apparently that something can include free tickets for another game. And that apparently the Reds are obligated to do that, or else they have breached their contract with you.
Wow. What happened when you could just give stuff away and nobody gave a crap?
Right.
Well, hold on a second. Let's make this clear. I mean, when I was a kid and I used to go to the ballpark, oh no, you made sure you were one of the first 10,000 fans to get whatever the heck it was.
Yeah, the free bat or whatever, the free
Or
towel
whatever the heck
or whatever.
Yeah, or a free hat or something.
Let me tell you something. Bat Day is a horrible idea. I don't know who thought that was a good idea, especially with baseball and drunk people. That was a horrible idea. I don't know what they were thinking at that moment.
That's the thing. They weren't.
Okay? It's kind of like the seat cushion day. They don't do those anymore either for a reason. One bad call, every seat cushion in the whole place was on the field.
You're right.
That's the truth.
With
so
popcorn bags and hot dog wrappers.
Yeah. Well, here's the best. I will tell you this. If you go in the early part of the spring when sometimes there's snow, let me tell you something. Umpires know whether or not you like the ball or strike call.
Mm-hmm.
And they know it because they get pelted in the back of the head with a snowball.
Oh my goodness.
From the upper deck. That was a ball. No, we thought it was a strike. Okay.
Well, now they got with especially these these baseball games that are National League and American League. They're televised. And they got cameras everywhere. Just like that one guy who threw the beer at the Falcons player during the Patriots game. That dude's been banned for life now.
Yeah.
One of my favorite scenes was this camera crew that couldn't help but focus in on 6 girls who were on their phones, doing selfies and not paying not one iota attention to the game.
Yeah, but you caught the caveat to that, right? There was a contest that was going on where they were told to do that everybody found out about later.
Oh, now that I didn't know. See?
Oh, no. Every time you see one of those, usually there's a caveat later. Like the one that happened there was one that happened at the Cubs game where some guy took the ball instead of a kid, and really in reality, what nobody saw was that the kid had gotten a ball, the guy had gotten a ball for that same kid earlier, it just wasn't on TV, and then Javi Baez came over and felt bad and signed the ball and gave it to him, and the Cubs gave him stuff. And it came out later that the guy had given the kid the ball before that.
Oh.
Yeah, some of these stories you got to be careful of because we don't get to see we don't get to see
context.
We don't get to see all the context. But the one that you're talking about, Ivan, it came out later that there was some contest, and that's the reason they were all on their phones like that.
Oh, okay. Because I just see that. I mean, they just kept commenting about the fact that they were just sitting there and just looking at their phones and not paying any attention to the game. I mean, those guys must have sat there for about, 15 minutes and just making color commentary about the whole thing.
Well, we appreciate all our listeners paying attention to our podcast here. We appreciate you listening.
Yes, we do. And where can they find us?
They can find us on the internet. We are on Facebook. That's where we're easiest to follow on and contact us there. Squares of the Round Table on Facebook, obviously, yes. The Twitter and Instagrams as well at SOTRT Podcast. Send us an email if you'd like, if you want to go that route. It is SOTRTpodcast at gmail.com. And thank you for listening on YouTube. We are also on PodBean, if that's where you're at. But if you're at the YouTubes, click the bell, subscribe, hit the like button. We appreciate it very, very much.
Yes, we do. That's another edition of Squares of the Round Table. I'm Jive Ivory Rivera with Mike Boyle and Jeff Stein. Thanks for being with us tonight. Or at this time, whichever way you're at.
Later, folks.
Have a good night, or good day, or good morning, wherever you are.